All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back-to-back update and information as it is hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news is dropping, you go be the first. We will collect them. All right, let's go down to the news proper. As it is hot, I go to bring you the information one by one. Before I go bring you the information of the day where they talk about the Imo community protest, alleged forced land acquisition for Fulani herdsmen. People where they live for Imo State, don't they complain say some Imo State indigenes they connive with Fulanis to force them and collect their land and give to the Fulanis. Of course, you know that sometimes there is nothing an Igbo man will not do for money. But before we go to this particular information, I want to take you to what happened in court the other day with MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, you know that a lot of witnesses that came to witness against him, their faces were covered, and part of his offenses were that he was carrying televising equipment, radio equipment, of which he was using to, connect the broadcast of the radio Biafra and other things that were found in his bag. And there was not. I was waiting to hear something like they found a gun in his bag, or maybe they found a bomb in his bag, or maybe they find anything that is against, or they found drug in his bag or anything. But there was nothing like that. The only testimony was that they found the radio Biafra frequency equipment in his bag. And Kepu don't they leak now. We don't they hear Kepu because the witnesses that came to court that day, each and every one of them covered their faces. The judge allowed them to mask their face, and that is to say that Kanu will not be able to see the people who are witnessing against him. And MAZI Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, they okayed that particular proceeding. They okayed that particular, way of testifying. But some kepu don dey leak say the person among the people who marks their face are some notable Igbo sons who came for that witness and pointing allegedly accusing finger is pointing to Uwazuruike. Of course, you people know Uwazuruike, who was one of the people that started this struggle as far back as 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2000. I think he was released, which it was the time of Olusegun Obasanjo during his protest and movement of Masop, a movement of restoration of Biafra, something like that. I could remember those days in Onitsha while we were still small, we were still young, secondary school children, when the Uwazuruike team conquered Onitsha and made landlords to reduce their rent. Then they said that the landlords will be paying so amount of money because where we are is in Biafra land. I remember everything that happened during that time up until Uwazuruike was arrested. And after Uwazuruike was arrested, we had Kepu that Uwazuruike signed a deal with Nigerian government, with then President Olusegun Obasanjo. That's the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. He signed an agreement that he will drop everything that concerns Biafra. And after that agreement, that was when Uwazuruike came into the limelight of becoming among the rich men in Nigeria. There are some Kepu that say that he was giving oil well. Allegedly, there's some, but we know that there were some settlements because after he came out of detention, he became very rich. Even to testify that Uwazuruike is very rich and an influencer today, he has a lot of building in Owerri. If you go to Owerri World Bank, you will see a lot of things that he have acquired, a lot of things. Even his security, his Masop men has been legalized as a legal security in this nation. You can hire them to serve as your security and pay them, and it is still going on up until today. And of course, you know that around 2015 or thereabout, 2014, 2015, when MAZI Nnamdi came out, Uwazuruike was part of the people who arrested MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, handed him over to the DSS because he had signed a deal to make sure that nothing about Biafra prospers, that everything that concerns the protest, the talking about the restoration of the indigenous people of Biafra must die. And he fought MAZI Nnamdi Kanu then mercilessly. And as it is now, Kepu Kepu don dey leak say for the people who marks their face, for the protest, for that particular witness in court, that Uwazuruike is one of them. And there are other people who were mentioned, of course, people who are under the DOS, who have disagreed that they have nothing to do with the indigenous people of Biafra. Of course, that DOS have disagreed many times that they have nothing to do with the indigenous people of Biafra. And these are how these factions has been divided. From DOS, from MASOB, we got to DOS. From DOS, we got to the indigenous people of Biafra. From indigenous people of Biafra, we got to the Biafra Republic government, autopilot. We got to autopilot. From autopilot, we landed to the Biafra Republic government in exile. From Biafra Republic government in exile, we have a faction now that is called the United States of Biafra. You can see how the struggle has proceeded since that time. All right, let's go down to what is happening in Imo State. Of course, that is the headline for today. Imo communities protest against forced land acquisition for Fulani herdsmen settlement. There is a panic in agrarian communities of Ohaji Egbema local government, Imo State, following an alleged move to establish a Fulani herdsmen settlement in the area by the state government. The allegation comes from the leaders of the affected communities lamenting the invasion of their farmland by reportedly government officials who were accompanied by security agencies, forcing them out of their farms. The people of the area are urging the state government to leave their ancestral land alone to enable them to feed their families, as they maintain that farming is their sole source of livelihood. One of the affected communities, Umuakpo Ohaji, through one of their leaders, Luke Chukwu, a former member of Imo State House of Assembly, former local government council chairman of the area, appealed to the state government to stop the unnecessary encroachment of their farmland, where they farm for sustenance. Addressing journalists, the former lawmaker narrated how a group of people who claimed to be government officials invaded their farmland, destroyed crops and economic trees, and were accompanied by armed security agencies without the people's knowledge. Chukwu said the people were not consulted by the government before the invasion, expressing surprise as how the Ministry of Land, Survey and Physical Planning violated the land use decree. He explained that the decree gives the local government council chairman the authority to legally acquire rural land in the agreement with landowners, along with full and adequate monetary compensation. He maintained that the people of Umuakpo Autonomous Community are peace-loving and development-driven, pointing out that land acquisition should follow due process, and the reason for the acquisition must be clearly outlined. The former council chairman said it is a taboo to sell land, especially farmland, let alone using it for cattle ranching or ruga, adding that they have no need to sell their land as they feed and survive from it. Speaking for the people of Obiti Ohaji Autonomous Community, Mr. Chinaza Azukwara told journalists that Fulani herdsmen are currently occupying their farms, eating up their crops that are due for harvesting. He lamented that the people of the area are helpless because the herdsmen are well armed and ready to kill anyone on sight, informing that there is perpetual panic in the area. Ajukwara pointed out that no sensitive government would leave its citizens unprotected to make policies that would put them in danger. He observed that the recent clash between farmers and cattle rearers in some parts of the country is evidence enough to shape government policies on how to protect its citizens. Establishing Fulani herdsmen settlement in communities that are basically farmers is an invasion for chaos, and we are going to resist it. We are currently experiencing food insecurity, which would be worsened by the establishment of herdsmen settlement, and crisis is looming in our area, he lamented. Our correspondent had earlier reported that the Commissioner for Land, Survey and Physical Planning, Enyima Onwegbu, while addressing journalists in his office, denied any attempt to forcefully acquire portions of land in the area. He maintained that consultations are still ongoing, but however, did not disclose the purpose behind the land acquisition. It was also gathered by our correspondent that herdsmen are currently occupying the area in question as farmers lament destruction of their crops. All right, welcome back. This is what is currently happening in the current Nigeria, in the current Imo state, in the current nation where the people have found themselves. The people have found themselves in a nation where they are no more protected. You know, when you have greedy people in office, people who have had absolute power, of course, you know that absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Of course, the government of the day has absolute power. Look at the defection of the PDP candidate defecting to APC, and this is to show you that the leadership of APC have had absolute power in Nigeria. It's automatic, it is glaring, it can be seen that the leadership of APC has absolute power over Nigeria. And of course, you know that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Where a government in power, we have nobody to condemn them, we have nobody to, speak against them, we have nobody to say anything against them. Every single governor, everybody is running to APC. And look at what is happening where Okukwa, the former governor of Delta State, was accused of stealing 1.3 trillion naira. And he said, according to him, he said, I am not afraid of EFCC, Okukwa boast over alleged 1.3 trillion naira fraud, because currently he defected to APC and he felt that APC is an umbrella covering evil. And that is what APC allegedly has decided to become in this nation, because in a nation whereby you have a government that nobody can question, nobody can compete with, there is no opposition, nobody can oppose. The government of APC now has become an unopposed government, because almost the 36 state governors are defecting to APC, and we wonder what is going to happen in the 2027. All right, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain, and if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drops, you go be the first. We will collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you.